Hey everyone, Zion over here from Nintendo Life, and today I'm so thrilled and thankful to let you know that we finally got to go hands-on with the Plucky Squire, which is coming to Nintendo Switch later this year. And it was incredible. I got to play for 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and the time absolutely flew by. We got to sit down on the couch with James Turner, who is the co-director on the game, who also was an art director on Pokemon Sword and Shield, and was working at the Pokemon Company for years and years prior. If you're not aware, the Plucky Squire was announced around 2 years ago, around this same time of the year actually. Generally, the game takes place within the walls of Sam's bedroom, but you're going to be playing as a little character named Jot, who is the main character of Sam's favorite picture book, which a bulk of the game also takes place in. And from here, it plays out with a top-down perspective, much like The Legend of Zelda, or even things like Death's Door in recent memory. Much like Link, Jot's weapon is a sword. You can hack and slash against enemies, and throughout the journey, you'll be able to unlock new abilities like a sword spin. You can throw your sword, you can jump in the air and do a dive bomb down with your sword as well. The combat is really smooth and satisfying. It's punchy, especially I loved the way that Jot can chuck his sword and it'll stick into a tree or a rock wall and it'll make a really nice thud, and you can pull it back to you almost like Thor can with his hammer with a flick of a button. And the picture book world is incredibly beautiful. There's so much detail. The one part of the book that we got to see was called Trag Mountain, and everything was themed around like rock and heavy metal. There were little trees that were shaped like thunderbolts and like the metal sign that you'd make with your hand. And there were little bunny rabbits that were playing a concert that looked like they were wearing like Kiss face paint. And since the game takes place in a picture book, it's not like there's this big open world necessarily to explore. It seems like the game is chapter-based. And in order to walk into the next areas, if you follow a path and you walk off of a page, the book will just turn to the next page and you'll end up walking on the next part. It's really cute and really well executed. But if you've seen any trailers for this game, you'll know that there's much more to this game than just the book. We don't know how often it will happen, but there are sections in the game where you'll actually be able to leap out of the pages of the book and explore the world outside of it, which is Sam's bedroom. And from here, combat feels very much the same, just with a different perspective. Jot still has all the same abilities that you've earned and unlocked while playing through the picture book, but you can now explore this world in 3D, and you can do things inside the picture book and outside of it that will affect the other world. So for example, when we were playing the game, we got to a point where there was this big kind of like metal buzzsaw almost that got stuck in our way, and we needed to explore outside the world to try and find some way to stop it. So we jumped out of the book and we went around exploring, and we ended up finding this little rocket ship that was trying to either bring its dad back to life or fix its dad or send its dad off to space because its dad was a rocket ship. I can't remember exactly how it went down. And from here, we got to explore Sam's bedroom, which is completely full of toys, little ramps and jumps and coffee cups and all sorts of just little kids' toys littered about. But he also has all of these different scenes that are built, which offers a lot of really fun platforming challenges. You'll find erasers, pens, dominoes, playing cards. Everything is covered in stickers and drawings. One thing that I used to do a lot as a kid when I would play games is I would always try to like get past the barriers. I would try to, as she says, boundary break and get as far as I could to try to find hidden secrets or things that, you know, the player wasn't supposed to see. Now, I wasn't able to break the barriers in this hour-long demo of the Plucky Squire, but I was able to get into areas that it felt like I still shouldn't be. And in those different nooks and crannies, James Turner told us that sometimes you'll be able to find little secrets and things that maybe don't actually affect the game. Maybe they're not abilities or powers or health upgrades or things like that. But maybe you'll find a little rock that has a cute smiley face drawn on it, or a drawing that one of his friends made in the game.
I got my friends to draw stickers, so
that's fun.
That was really fun. Actually, some of the stickers were drawn by the guy that did the design of Geralt from The Witcher.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Which is really cool to have his artwork.
But after completing that little mini game that we got to partake in, we ended up earning an item that we got to take back to the book, and it allowed us to move past that metal saw blade thing that I was explaining earlier. So it's really cool to see how much the 3D world and the picture book really affect themselves. And with how childlike and creative this game is, while we were playing with James, Alana and I wanted to know if James had kids himself, or if he's, brought on kids to, help give this game that extra spark, that make it feel a bit more authentic. And he had a really nice answer for that.
Do you have kids of your own?
I do, yeah. Yeah,
have they played this yet?
They have played it, and they've yes, they have played it and they've enjoyed it, and yeah, it's definitely a topic of conversation in our household, like how the game's doing, and like
Amazing.
my son calls it the Plucky Square.
The Plucky Square.
Yeah. I've pointed out to him many times it's the Plucky Squire. No, it's the Square, the Plucky Squire.
They or talked with them about something, and they've had like an effect on the game. Do you think in a way?
Yeah, definitely. Like yeah, they've contributed like some ideas and kind of like things, like seeing how intuitive something can be when you're showing it to people, or maybe I'll show my son like a design and get his approval for it, like which one is cuter or which one looks cooler, and then he'll pick out the designs, and then I'll know which one is the best.
When you watch trailers, you can see that there are quite a few different gameplay shakeups as well. There's one section where you're playing as a muscular Jot boxing another character in a minigame that kind of looks reminiscent of Punch-Out! There's also an archery shooting minigame. And there are a few others that you can spot in the trailer, and one of which we actually got to play. And it was so mind-melting. It made me so happy in the moment that the game doesn't just play like a 2D or 3D Zelda game. There are other elements at play in here. And I wish I knew how long the game lasted. I wish I knew how many secrets and how many other gameplay styles were going to be in the game, but I think that's part of the fun of it, is going on this journey and discovering it for yourself and for myself when the game eventually launches. If you were sold on Plucky Squire when you first saw the trailer, then you don't need to see any more. This is hands down one of my most anticipated games of the year, and there's not really a whole lot that they can do to mess it up at this point, now that we've actually got our hands on the game. I'm so excited to play more. I hope it releases soon. It sounds like they're nearing the end of development. When we got to demo it at Summer Game Fest, they told us that they had a few more things that they had to tweak, so only time will tell. Hopefully we get to play more soon. Now, of course, let us know in the comments down below where your anticipation lies for the Plucky Squire. Have you heard of this game yet? Have you heard us talk about it in the past? Have you heard us talk about the Plucky Squire before, or is this your first time seeing it? Let us know down below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, then why don't you find a way to make that subscribe button jump off the page, and then grab it, click it, and then toss it back in. And then ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we release new videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you again to Devolver for inviting us to come play the Plucky Squire at Summer Game Fest. I'm Zian from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all next time.
How long did it take you to come up with Jot's design?
That was actually, I designed Jot before I thought of this idea, pretty much.
Oh, I think I remember reading something about that,
Yeah, it was an online, like on my Twitter feed, I just did a short comic, like a online comic kind of a thing. And the character was basically Jot. And then a couple of, probably like the next month, I had the idea for the Plucky Squire, and I thought, oh, well, Jot, he would make a nice like hero for this game, and so I just transferred him across, gave him a new job, and that's it.
Class change.
Yeah.